Yes, people, so I'm going to break down the markets that I'm actually looking to trade for the week ahead. I am going to send this to my Telegram and nowhere else because obviously I want to give you guys, some free value for actually joining my Telegram. So I trade a sort of a swing to intraday trading strategy. Now I understand some people might not understand what the fuck I'm going to talk about in this video, but just take a watch. You might find it interesting, you might find it boring. It really just, boils down to what you want to do with your life. If you're trying to learn a skill set that can actually pay you, you might have to put the work in. Well, no, you will have to put the work in. There's no way about it, right? For the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, for it actually to pay you. But obviously, once you've actually learned it, it will pay you for the rest of your life. So, background about me. I've been trading since March 2023. So that's nearly 3 years now. Obviously, I've got quite a lot of experience, inside of the market. So I'm going to break down the markets that I am looking to trade. So let's get to it. So the first pair of the week is going to be GBP JPY. So if we just start off on the weekly time frame, as you can see, last week we did have a huge weekly bearish engulfing candlestick. And obviously, as you can see, we've been very, very bullish, right? When it comes to this pair, we literally haven't really stopped. So obviously, we are way overdue a pullback. If we just look at the monthly time frame, we obviously are, approaching these levels up here. Now, obviously, when price was at this level last time, what did we do? We had a huge dump. Okay, so obviously price is now reaching the same similar area, right? And we are having a bearish reaction. So if we go down to the daily time frame, as you can see, I'm expecting price to continue to sell off on the weekly, because of the sheer size of this candlestick, right? Like there is some imbalances down here that we are going to come and fill, in my opinion. So if we do go down to the daily time frame, we can clearly see how we've had a head and shoulders pattern, right? It's not the cleanest head and shoulders, but I call this a head and shoulders. And then obviously we've clearly shifted structure now, and I'm waiting for price to give us a retest to then obviously continue to sell off to the downside. Now the actual trade that I'm looking to take will be the short position from this area, but there is an opportunity to actually catch some buys up into this area, right? Because we have got a beautiful area of demand. If I mark out the bottom of that, and then the top of this last bearish candlestick before the push to the upside, we are approaching a strong level of demand. So I am expecting price to react from here into this area. So if I was to enter buys on this position, I would need price to break above this zone very, very strongly, and I can get in a position and just catch a little 1 to 2, because we can see how price now is accumulating. We clearly started to slow down from this area, right? We've started to go sideways, so that is a good sign of accumulation that price does want to potentially reverse. Now this is an inverted head and shoulders. If I just invert the scale, you can see a left shoulder head and then a potential right shoulder forming. So all I'm waiting for here is price to break under here, and then obviously we will hopefully play out. Now this is probably my number one pair of the week. Now I trade all sorts of pairs, only Forex though. Like I don't tend to trade anything else except gold. Now I do trade gold a little bit because sometimes, for example, the past 2 months there really hasn't been too many opportunities when it comes to my personal strategy, so I have been diving into gold a little bit. And obviously last week I caught an insane trade. I might break that down for you guys depending on how long this video is. But yeah, so the next pair is Euro JPY. Once again, very, very similar pair, obviously. Very, very similar price action. So again, all I'm waiting for now is price to give us a retest. If anything, this is actually a bit cleaner than GJ. But I'm waiting for price to give us a retest of this head and shoulders neckline, and then obviously, price to reject from there to then continue to sell off. But again, there is opportunities to buy on this pair, into this level first. But the risk for reward just really isn't there for me. Hence why GBP JPY is, my number one pair of the week. But I am looking to short this, when we come into this area. And then we've got AUD USD. So this again is another pair that I'm looking to trade. So if we just look at the weekly time frame right now, we've obviously came into this area, right, where we have previously rejected multiple times, right? Now, when price comes into an area where it's rejected before, the likelihood is it might reject again, right? It's not obviously not guaranteed, but this is just the game of probabilities, right? So if we go down to the daily time frame, as you can see now, obviously we've came into this level and we are showing signs of rejection. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, as you can see, there is a potential head and shoulders forming. So we've got the left shoulder, the head. So really now all I'm waiting for is a right shoulder to form, come and fill in this imbalance here, maybe even tap into this OB, into this order block just up there. And then obviously we can potentially catch these cells, right? So these cells will be big, because if we look at the DXY, for example, the dollar index, we are in an area of demand, so I'm expecting price to have a push to the upside on the dollar this week. So obviously, you know, if that happens, then AUD USD should be falling, right? Because obviously, you know, if the dollar is very strong, then anything against the US dollar, like AUD USD, should be going to the downside, right? That's just how the market works, right? So that is another great pair that I'm looking to get into. And obviously, as you can see, I've got this red line marked out. This is a psychological level. As you can see, it ends in 0, 0, 0. So this is where price, this is where banks like to enter or exit their positions, because price is at a psychological level, right? If you think they're all dealing with numbers and stuff, they're not going to enter fucking randomly, right? They want to get in where price is at a nice level, a key level, right? A psychological level where, you know, it doesn't cause too much confusion. So this is a very good level. It also works with 500 at the end as well. Or any sort of 000 level really, but the strongest ones are 000 and 500, right? So that is AUD USD, and then also GBP NZD. This is probably gonna be the last pair I'll break down for you guys, because I know this video is long. But yeah, so as you can see now, the weekly time frame, GBP NZD has been bearish literally for the past 5 weeks, and now we are starting to slow down, right? And we are potentially rejecting this nice level of demand on the weekly time frame. So if we go down to the daily, as you can see, we haven't actually shifted structure yet. All right, that's the only thing I don't like on this. We haven't shifted structure on the daily just yet. But if price is to, you know, give us a nice push to the upside and then give us that retracement into this level, right, then I will be looking to buy this pair. Okay, because also, if you can see where my entry point will potentially be, is also psychological level. Now, let me just get these coordinates on point. So 600, okay, well, 26,000, my bad. So that is a psychological level. Obviously, it ends in 0, 0, 0. So I am looking to long this pair, you know, maybe into this level here, because we have got a nice level of supply just resting. And also we've got a nice fair value gap just below that, so I'm expecting price to push up into that this week. Obviously, as you can see, the weekly time frame is setting up with a bullish, in my opinion, a bullish candlestick next week. But other than that, really, you know, I'm also looking to short NZD USD, you know, correlating with AUD USD again, just really waiting for a clean, you know, clean rejection from this area of interest. Now I'm expecting price to potentially push up a little bit more to make that top wick on the weekly time frame, because obviously now, guys, we do have to, we don't have to, but a lot of the times we'll make a wick on the bottom or the top. So obviously, just logically, you know, if you're waiting to sell, you need to wait for price to make the top wick of the candle, and then obviously sell as price is gonna, you know, potentially fall down. But I've seen this pattern many times now, so I'm expecting price to open up, make the wick, then reverse and make a bearish engulfing candlestick. That is my prediction for the week ahead. Also, we got USD CAD. Now, I did actually get out of this position. Also, I got out of Euro GBP. I wish I didn't, to be honest, but at the same time, holding trades, you know, over the weekend is sometimes good, but it also isn't, because, you know, you never know nowadays. There could be some bullshit news event over the weekend, or a war, fucking whatever the fuck it is, yeah. So there might be a massive market gap opening, you know, and it might stop me out, and then price might go in my direction. So I just got out the position. I'm looking to take a re-entry on this, but I'm hopefully expecting price to dip back into this area to then give us an entry to the upside. And I'll also just quickly break down Euro GBP as well, because I was also in shorts with this. If you look at the weekly time frame, we have got a clear left shoulder head and a potential right shoulder forming now, and just the way price has rejected this previous resistance level, you know, as you can see, we've rejected once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, so it's clearly a strong level, and we've had a bearish engulfing candlestick on the daily. So I'm expecting this to really fall next week, you know, to potentially this level down here. So I will be looking to short Euro GBP as well. Obviously, guys, I'm not going to be taking all of these trades. I'm only going to select 2, 1 to 2 really, and hopefully catch 1 to 2.5 risk rewards on both. And then, you know, we're at 5% for the week. But really for this pair, like, I'm going to have to try and get a very good entry, because I feel like it might drop as soon as market opens. But if we make that top wick, and then, you know, we continue bearish during London, then I will try and get an entry, you know, with an order block or a fair value gap, you know, when it comes to the lower time frames. But yeah, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for this breakdown video. If you do want me to keep doing these, make sure you react this message with a thumbs up, so I know who's actually watched this full video. And also, I might potentially start doing more breakdowns, trade breakdowns, etc. on my old YouTube, because I do actually have a YouTube out there that I did run up a little bit last year, but I kind of stopped just to focus on, you know, other areas of business. But yeah, if you want me to keep doing these, just obviously, like I said, you know, react that message. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good trading week. If you do want access to the gold ideas that we send out inside of TMA, then you can drop me a message or just go through the pin message inside of this Telegram group, you know, and you can start trading. You know, if you need any help whatsoever when it comes to either learning or anything trading related or business related, drop me a message on Instagram, or you can even drop me a message on Telegram, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can.